Good day, everyone. My name is Juliana Haley Coricario, and today I will be discussing the results analysis discussion of your research with the title Experiences of Working Senior High School Students or College Students During the Pandemic, together with Mr. Lagos Gian, Ms. Hernandez Shani, and Ms. Guillermo Shirel. First to discuss is the demographic profile. Let's go on with respondent number one or participant number one. Participant number one is a Filipino female college student who has been working as a freelance writer for the past 6 months. At first, she was not interested in being a working student, but because of the pandemic, her parents lost their job. For that reason, she felt compelled to work in order to sustain her family's financial necessities. She is often concerned with job stability, as she mentions that from time to time she loses her job. She also expresses concern about being burnt out, as she's always and still working on balancing her work and school. Yet she does what she does for the sake of her family. For respondent number two or participant number two, I will be yielding the floor to Ms. Shirilyn Guillermo.
Participant 2 is named Marcus, a 22 years old Filipino male college student from a private university in Antipolo. He stated that he stopped studying for almost 2 years. He is working as an office staff and his task is to arrange school documents. He claims that he is glad considering that he is able to gain new learnings and experiences from his job. He described his work as tiring, but he asserts that he needed to work in order to provide and help his family. I will yield the floor to Miss Shanley.
The next is the respondent 3. She is a Filipino and she is a female, which makes her a Filipino. And she is also a senior high school student, and currently she is working as a fast food worker. And I will yield to the floor to Miss Shanley Kate Hernandez.
Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Gian Lagos. The next participant is participant number 4. Participant number 4 is a 23 years old Filipino male college student. He is named Levi. He uses his bike for work as he's been working as a delivery rider for 5 years. He expresses concern about the possibility of him being a victim of fake booking, as it is prevalent. And if he falls victim to fake booking, he uses social media to post the product so it will not go to waste. He is also concerned that he might be in contact with people who tested positive for COVID-19. As for his salary, he mentioned that he is contented with the salary which ranges from 800 to 1,500 per day. When it comes to his school, he stated that he has been very good at balancing school and work. In one word, he defined his current life as a working student as time management for the reason that it is quite difficult sometimes to multitask.
Thank you for your recognition, Miss Shanley Kate Hernandez. And next is the content analysis technique number 1, counting. And here is the bar graph that shows how high all the incorporated words are used by our respondents. And next is the table created to know the exact number of times the word has been used by our respondents. And as you can see, that the word work is the most used word among them.
Thank you so much for the recognition,
And I
Mr.
yield the
Lagos.
floor to Ms.
For content
Gillian
analysis
Hing.
technique number 2, the researchers use contrast and comparison. It is evident all of the respondents have differences and similarities. In terms of their differences, the researchers observed that not all of them are in college, only participant number 1, 2, and 4, while participant number 3 is in senior high school. It was also observed that participants number 1 and 2 are family motivated, but participants number 3 and 4 are not, as their statements did not include their families. Moreover, seeing that although the participants are experiencing the same phenomenon, it is crucial to understand that each of them faces different challenges and therefore they exert different emotions, efforts, and time for their role as working students during the pandemic. As for similarities, it is observed that all of the respondents encountered difficulties in adjusting to their work with regard to the COVID-19 pandemic. Statements such as sa una mahirap, medyo mahirap po, before, sa simula mahirap, are prevalent in the interview. Furthermore, the researchers have concluded that in the observation that all of the respondents have the concept of surviving based on their overall statements. The researchers utilized the content analysis technique contrast and comparison for the reason that the researchers are eager to be knowledgeable of the respondents' similarities and differences based on their statements. With this, the researchers are able to expound on an observation. I will now be yielding the floor to Ms. Shanley. Thank you for the recognition, Ms. Shanley, and for our theoretical framework. This research aims to present the experiences of working senior high school and/or college students during the COVID-19 pandemic by using phenomenological theory to further understand the lived experience of the aforementioned units of analysis in regards to the phenomenon. Phenomenological theory is an approach to personality theory that places questions of individuals' current experiences of themselves and their world at the center of analysis of personality, function, and change. Edmund Husserl is the principal founder of this theory. A phenomenological theory has both strengths and weaknesses. As for its strengths, phenomenological theory can look at change processes over time, help understand people's meanings, help address new issues and ideas as they emerge, and contribute to the development of new theories. While the analysis and interpretation of the data are difficult, is the weakness of it. Hegel described phenomenology as conscious knowledge associated with saying what is perceived, sensed, and known for the person's experiences. As for the relation of this theory and the researcher's topic, the researchers are eager to focus on the lived experience of working senior high school and/or college students during the COVID-19 pandemic, using solely Edmund Husserl's phenomenological theory. Phenomenological theories are of literature regard work of art as mediators between the consciousness of the author and the reader, or as attempts to disclose aspects of the beings of human and their worlds. Phenomenology as a methodological framework has evolved into a process that seeks reality in individuals' narratives of their lived experiences of phenomena. The researchers chose symbolic interactionism as their grand sociological framework. Symbolic interactionism has roots in phenomenology, which emphasizes the subject meaning of reality. Symbolic interactionism is a theoretical perspective in sociology that addresses the manner in which society is created and maintained through face-to-face, repeated, meaningful interactions among individuals. Symbolic interaction is one of the several theories of the social sciences, and according to this theory, people live both in natural and the symbolic environment. Symbolic interaction is a process that is enlived and reciprocal meaning and values by the aid of the symbols in the mind. Meanings constitute reciprocal interaction between persons. Objects don't have meaning on their own, but objects get their meanings from social actors. Consequently, symbolic interactionism is a process of interpretation of action. I will now be yielding the floor to Ms. Guillermo.
Given findings that working students face significant challenges during the pandemic, from mental health problems, financial strain, isolation, and challenges adapting to online learning, and as well as working students are one of the most vulnerable groups at risk for employment loss during the COVID-19 pandemic, are consistent with the researchers' study.
Now, for our conclusion, first is there is an analogous nature of the experiences of working students during the time of the pandemic. Working students are exerting great efforts for the purpose of achieving a more preferable life. Working students became more independent for the purpose of supporting their families. Working students became more cautious about their situation and finding ways to cope with it. Working students became more creative with how they manage their time between work and studies. Working students are often concerned in matter of uncertainty of their path and future. And that's all for the research presentation. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye, everybody.